I've done all the things a wife is supposed to do.
Hi guys, welcome to our show. How are you?
Doing good.
Really good. Thank you.
We are pretty excited, and I would like to start with the music, because when it started, the Don't Let Me Be Misunderstood was like, either trying to tell me something, and every time Elizabeth sings something or every time a song appears, have something to do with the story and make me sing too. So I want to know, how was that process of choosing the music that is used on the show?
A great question. The music, the clips from different TV shows, we wanted to create a real world feeling of that time. And Candy found some kind of freedom in music and in dancing and trying to find a sense of self through that. And, we had already designed the main titles, couldn't find a piece of music. Because we definitely wanted to show things are not what they appear to be. So you see the beautiful white picket fence in front of the house, but the paint is peeling.
Yeah,
or the beautiful piece of china, but there's a crack in it. And we were putting up all kinds of songs. And the minute I heard Nina Simone's husky voice singing, I'm like, well, that's it.
Got it.
Would you be interested in having an affair?
Which was the main tool that you used or you saw? Because I feel there's like a light of being empathy, feel empathy for your character, and it's weird because it's weird to feel that for someone that did what she did. So which was your main tool from the book to portray that in that way and to achieve that in our point of view?
I think that the strangest things about having so much information, whether it's a recount of someone's childhood or a letter that you write your husband, you find things that surprise you as your endpoint, I think. And her, oddly, it was her relationship with when she was I think she was 12 or 13, with other boys, when she was living in France, was something that made it seem kind of clear how she was raised with this strong desire of being accepted by the opposite sex from a young age. And that was something that felt informative of some sort of approval she needs of others, and some maybe possible affirmation she gets about herself from others' affection or other people's approval. And so that was that helps me, her desire to have other people's approval of her helps me understand when she makes decisions that seem very confusing to me. It created a lens in a way that I would never have made up on my own, but I found it to be kind of a helpful little anecdote.
It's not the first time you work with David, and I like a lot that he embrace female characters in different ways. So I would like to know, for you as an actress, how's it like, or why would you like to work with him? Because I think there's something special about the women that he tried to portray in her writing.
I think there's something so special about the women that he portrays in his writing. That's it's very true. It's, as an actress, it's something. It's been a real privilege to get to work with David and to continue to work with David. I think, he never defines his characters as good or bad. You can always feel slightly suspicious of them, and you can always love them. And I think that he is remarkable in the way that he can strike that balance. Also, the changeability, that you can feel one way about his characters in 1 second, and it can change and change again and change again, and then and so the experience of that as a viewer and as an actor, I think, is quite thrilling.
The jury needs to see you as human.
Another fun character was your character, and something that impressed me about the series was when a character was on screen, I was like, this is a drama, and maybe why I'm laughing about this. And when you appear, it was like a dark comedy.
Yeah.
So I would like to know, as an actor, you have to portray different genre and different scenes. For me, that's like watching a lot of things at the same time. So how was it for you during the process of doing it?
Well, I think that's a great observation that you made. And honestly, it was very easy to do because it was so well written. Yeah. When you're sort of getting into a different genre, or maybe when you're doing a piece that has elements of comedy, elements of drama, elements of almost horror, that the writing is seamless in such a way that like your transitions are almost made for you. And in this case, we got very lucky.
You were hamming it up.
I love hamming.
Have
it
you
up.
done comedy before?
No, they
You
don't let
mostly
me
do,
anywhere
like,
near
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
And also something that you, like, as a viewer find strange is like feeling empathy for your relationship. And for me, they behave like teenagers. I can't believe that they made a list. And if we don't do this, do that. Like really, like in Latin America, we didn't know the story. So I was amazed with everything that I found out. When you as an actor, like having that sequence of building that friendship, because there was nothing just related to sex, because they're just go to bed to talk. So for you, build that relationship, was that special?
Yeah, I mean, it was just a very unique beginning to an affair, and just a very unique relationship that I feel like the more we shot, the more, you know, we shot it for the most part chronologically, and so we were able to kind of just go on that weird ride with the two of them. But it was a lot of fun, and that is how we looked at it, as this very kind of like high school, you know, awkward but everything type of thing.
Whatever you have, you always want more.
Yeah, there's something that I like a lot, talking about the way David writes, and is that in this story, seeing a man like taking some kind of the guilt or maybe blaming himself, that I didn't know the story, and it was a pretty huge story here, but seeing that character, no, it's all to my fault, and being vulnerable, like, this is so weird. So it was for you a surprise, or some sort of relief as an actor portraying a man that has a strong figure in the 70s, but also having this kind of behavior for me was a surprise.
Yeah, I mean, whatever tools he was not equipped with to navigate the relationship and to be a good partner for Candy, he was accountable and was self-accountable, which is a rare characteristic even nowadays among anybody, really. So yeah, I mean, that is one of the more redeeming qualities of Pat, and you know, to me explains why he stays with Candy and is so supportive through the trial process and all of that. Yeah.
You need to be careful.
Okay.
I want to know about Sherry, if she existed in real life, because I found that her character is like some kind of close to a Candy point of view. Like, you are like her conscious, like we understand the character through you. So I don't know if she really existed or was created for the show.
So Sherry Kleckler is a real person, but there wasn't a ton there. There wasn't a ton of, you know, a lot. She wasn't really reported on, you know. So David E. Kelley infused her into the script to be her sort of voice of reason and how we get to know Candy, and also to sort of be a little bit of levity in an otherwise pretty dark story. So, yeah, she was her best friend. She's a little gossipy. She's the town beautician.
I love her.
Yeah, me too. I love her hair and her makeup. She's always like flawless, and yeah, she was a fun character to play.
Has a way of coming out.
There is something about this story that we are not familiar in Latin America. I know there is like, the tale is pretty important here, and I know there was a movie that started when you already were doing this version, and I would like to know for you what is important to let this story know, although it's pretty amazing everything that happened. I couldn't believe the ending. I was like, what?
Yes, real life is stranger than fiction.
Yeah.
Well, that was shocking for us because we were already several months into filming when we found out there was another project on the same material. Now, we had already optioned the rights to the Texas Monthly articles as well as the nonfiction book. So we kind of thought, well, no one else can do this, but it's public domain material, and you know, there's nothing we could do about it. But we were well on our path in terms of how we were telling the story. And what was interesting to me about it was looking at that era, 1978 to 1980, specifically looking at women of that time who, they did everything right. You know, they got married at 20, they had their 2 kids, they moved to the suburbs, they had a very full life and a big community. So why is it that they felt this huge hole in their heart and psyche and being that could not be filled? What is that psychologically? What is it about the human condition? And I think that's what David and I wanted to explore.
And chopped.
I didn't do it.
Oh, well, it was amazing. I hope you enjoy your nominations.
Oh, please. Can't think about it, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.